While August was officially when school started for my kids and shifted our schedule, September was the first full month of getting used to that schedule and all that it brings. This means that the games I played in September are missing a number of the summer staples. Thankfully though, September does bring the first completed game in a little while, and also saw me be able to get back to focusing on trophy cleanup on another game as well. So let's take a look at what I played and what didn't make the list in September 2024. I was able to complete one game during September right near the end of the month. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it, but I pushed through to the end and got it done. And that game is Final Fantasy VII. This is the PS4 port of the original game that I've been working on playing for the last couple of months. I really didn't think I was going to complete it with all the level and materia grinding that I needed to do to get the level 99 and the 99 million guild trophies, but I was able to get those done and then easily finish out the game. That made for my 108th platinum and another completed game. Most everybody knows about Final Fantasy VII, so little info is probably needed here. I'll save my thoughts for a review that I'll put out in October, but I will say that I am looking forward to trying out the remake trilogy. Maybe once I get done going through the main games in the Final Fantasy series, I'll take on some of the side games of the series, which would include the Final Fantasy VII remake. Since I was able to complete a game in September, that means that we have a new game added to the list. There are only 2 here this month since one of the games fell off due to the end of summer. The first story game is Stardew Valley. I was able to play and make more progress in Stardew Valley Expanded. I'm continuing to unlock some more of the mod stuff since I completed the community center, and I've been pretty excited to see what things there are to discover as I continue to play. That said, I didn't have too many opportunities to play in September since I was really wanting to get Final Fantasy VII finished and focused on that a lot more. I am getting very close to the end of the summer of year 2, so hopefully next month will see me transitioning into fall and making a bit more progress. The second story game is 1979 Revolution Black Friday. This is the new game I started after finishing Final Fantasy VII. It's an adventure style game that takes place during the Iranian Revolution. You play as Reza Shirazi, and you see his story in the present as well as through various flashbacks. I'm not super far in the game so far, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very long one. Since I'm always super interested in history, it should be pretty interesting, especially because I don't really know a lot about the topic on display here. I have a feeling though it's going to be one of those games that isn't exactly fun in the sense of like the content and where the story will go, but still very interesting to learn about the events going on around this story. Moving on from story games, I'll be focusing on games that I call endless games. These are games that don't have clear-cut endings. They can be online PvP, arcade, sandbox, creative, simulation, or party games. Some of these are games I enjoy quite a bit and keep playing off and on, while others are ones that I play for a season and then move on from. There are also games that we'll play as a family off and on depending on the month. Basically, we have a lot of my standard games here and not many others. This category feels a little bit more reduced due to both summer being over and being marching band season. That means that we don't always have the most time to play things together as our schedule is a little busier than sometimes. Our first endless game is Fortnite. While we may have had less time to play overall, Fortnite remains a game that we played fairly regularly throughout September. And we're deep into the Marvel season, and I overall like the season, but there are some things that I don't like as well. I think my main complaint is all of the flying mobility this season. It just makes it hard to hit people in the air and gives you a whole extra area to have to keep track of to watch for threats. It also doesn't help that I can't quite seem to use these nearly as effectively as others. I understand that may just be because of my own lack of skill, but it does still make for some frustrating times. Other than that, I have been enjoying the season. It's fun and does have a good number of fun mythics that you can play around with. It just maybe doesn't quite surpass the first Marvel season for me, but it's always hard to say because it's not like I can compare them side by side. Regardless, I am making pretty decent progress in the battle pass though, as I am over level 100 already, so hopefully I can get the second half with all the super levels finished up in October. Feeling like that shouldn't be too hard to do, but I guess we'll see. The second endless game is Marvel Snap. In many ways, Marvel Snap continued about the way it normally does for me. I get stuck in the 70s, and that's as far as I get. I do decent on Alliance bounties and get my variant in Conquest, but can't seem to break out of the 70s in the majority of seasons. It gets a little frustrating after a while. Thankfully, in terms of new cards, I did get quite a few new drops in September. Of course, I picked up the Season Pass and got Symbiote Spider-Man, but I was also able to get Emperor Hulkling, US Agent, Galactus, and Scarlet Spider. I maybe had better months in terms of new cards, but this was a pretty good month and a month I was very happy with. I enjoy Marvel Snap a good amount. I just wish I could be a bit better at getting further in the ladder, but that just seems to be something that I really struggle with. The third endless game is NGU Idle. September wound up being a very productive month in NGU Idle. I am pretty much ready to start my journey into evil difficulty. I have finished all of the challenges from normal, have earned a lot of the perks and quirks available to me through both the tower and questing, and all of my page 1 Yggdrasil fruits are leveled to 24. I'm hoping that that'll be enough to make evil not feel too daunting once I go into there, but I guess we'll find out next month. My fourth endless game is Warframe. Compared to the summer, I haven't played Warframe quite as much, but I have played it off and on throughout the month. I've usually played it enough to get some of the weekly Nightwave quests, but I don't think I've had too many major accomplishments over the month. At some point, I need to tackle the last few nodes that I haven't completed on the star chart, but that wasn't something I really focused on this month. And the last endless game for September is Overwatch 2. One of the games we did play together as a family was Overwatch 2. It may have only been one night over the whole month, but we did wind up playing it together. And it was pretty much the only other video game besides Fortnite that we wound up playing together as a family. And it was fun. As always, we enjoy playing Overwatch for the most part, unless there's a game where we're just getting trounced, and that's usually pretty frustrating. But it's just not a game that any of us are super committed to, and so we just don't really play it consistently. And with the fall schedule, I was able to spend a little bit of time going for trophies in a game this month. I didn't really get to do this over the summer much, but hopefully I'll get a bit more focused on that, at least until next summer when that seems to not be able to happen. And the game I was able to focus on this month was Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been working on getting the 2 New Game Plus trophies that I have left in this game. I basically just have to beat it on Ultra Hard and I'll get both of the trophies. I haven't even made it out of the Nora lands yet though, so it'll probably take me a little while. I'm not really going after collectibles or asking lots of questions to the characters so that I can move through the story a bit quicker. I'm hoping that will knock off a good chunk of time for completion, but since the game was pretty long, I doubt it'll be too quick. Maybe I can get it done by the end of October, but I expect it'll be more like November before I finish, but I guess we'll find out. And that's what I played during September. The number of different games definitely decreased, but I did get to complete a game which made me happy. Hopefully I'll be able to keep up getting at least one completion every month. Kind of hard to make it through the backlog when you aren't completing any games during the course of the month. How about you? What have you been playing in September? Let me know in the comments, as it's always fun to see what others are playing and if they would recommend what they're playing. Hope everyone had a great month and that you've been playing games that you enjoy. And that's all for now, so I'll see you in the next video.